Nevada's top secret military base, known as Area 51, exploded into the public arena in the late 80s after stories first broadcast here on 8 News Now.
And those stories revealed the government was allegedly testing alien technology out there in the desert. Well, now an equally bizarre account is generating a lot of interest. It's a twisted tale involving Nazis, Russians, horrific human experimentation. The I-Team's George Knapp has that story.
The intrigue, the puzzles, the mystery, the enigma, it's all part of Area 51.
LA Times writer Annie Jacobsen did not set out to uncork one of the most exotic conspiracy stories of all time. The focus of her new book, Area 51, An Uncensored History, was always going to be the Cold War heroes who toiled in obscurity at Groom Lake on such top-secret programs as the U-2 and SR-71 spy planes. Area 51 workers, part of a social group called the Roadrunners, first went public with their insider tales of the base in 2005 here on 8 News Now. Jacobsen knew their histories would make a great book, but a 7-page section at the end of the book has overshadowed everything else, generating a media firestorm. Jacobsen has appeared on everything from Comedy Central to National Geographic, telling a story that ties Area 51 to the infamous Roswell incident.
Email from the conspiracy theorists right when the book first published. They were very angry with me. This was a group in the UK. They said, even we don't believe you.
UFO researchers have long contended that a flying saucer crashed near Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, that alien bodies were recovered, that everything was whisked to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and later to Area 51. A former government scientist, Bob Lazar, first told us in the late 80s that he worked on recovered saucers near Groom Lake, trying to master the ET technology. Jacobsen says she was told a much different tale by a senior engineer who worked on the atomic bomb program for 30 years, but who was also part of a small team in charge of a recovered saucer and little bodies.
What he had been told was the equipment came from the Roswell crash. Also, what is so controversial is that he told me, in addition to the equipment, he and these 4 other engineers for EG&G received these child-sized aviators, 2 of whom were comatose but still alive.
The engineers were told that the saucer had been built by the Russians based on a flying wing design created by German engineers for Adolf Hitler. Its crew were large-headed, alien-looking teenagers who'd been surgically altered by Nazi doctor Joseph Mengele.
Panic that sweeps around the globe as the great masses of mankind flee blindly in a...
The plot was to create a War of the World-type panic in the U.S., but it went awry when Stalin's saucer crashed. Jacobsen defends this wild tale based on the credibility of her anonymous source.
I believe that my source believes what he was told.
But others have a lot of trouble with the story. The Area 51 Roadrunners, for one, whose president, T.D. Barnes, told us while he strongly supports most of the book, he's disappointed with the saucer story and strongly disavows any association with it. UFO researchers and UFO critics finally agree on something, that the story is hard to swallow. National media are also aiming their guns at Jacobsen.
So it goes when you're a journalist, George.
George Knapp, 8 News Now.
Well, the book is already headed for the bestseller lists. Author Annie Jacobsen is speaking tonight, by the way, 7 p.m. at the Henderson Library. We have links to the event and much more on our Area 51 section on 8newsnow.com.